The UK is now the second most depressing country to live in officially.
I hate living in the UK. I absolutely hate it.
Bro, why are people in the UK such fucking haters, man?
Imagine living in one of the most miserable countries in the world and realising it's right here in the UK.
In today's video, we are visiting the worst city in England.
No, it's not, and I'm pissed
It is.
People keep saying.
Guys, don't be afraid to be different, because let's be honest, everyone is fucking miserable in the UK.
If you're an immigrant and you hate where you're currently living, pack your bags and leave.
So why do I think people are so miserable in the UK?
You want to know what it is? It's that I don't want to play the game anymore. It's that I refuse to submit to a system that doesn't even follow its own rules.
This is all a joke to you, isn't it? Where is Harvey Dent? Where is he?
The UK would literally make you depressed though. Like literally, like see before my holiday, like I felt really depressed. And now I'm like feeling de-stressed, chill, relaxed after my holiday, and I'm just like, I just want to be back there. Like, it just shows you it's not like, it's like sometimes it's about the environment you're in, like it is a shithole. Scotland and the UK, like, unless you're up north and you're in the Highlands and it's all nice scenery and all that, but if you go out there, there's litter everywhere, it's always pissing or rain.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that Britain used to be famous for complaining about the weather. Now it feels like we're complaining about everything. What a bunch of misery guts. Now then, have you noticed something? People seem worn out. Walk through any town centre, sit on a train, queue in the supermarket.
2 years in a row, we're the most miserable, depressed, second, anyway, country in the world voted. Brilliant. We know why, but Uzbekistan is number one. And you know what, like Ukraine is at war, and they've been at war for a few years now, and then they're still happier than we are. We are a miserable fucking country, and we are made this way by the powers that fucking be. 2 years in a row. I wonder if next year we'll get that number one spot. Wow. That's why depression's so high. Everyone's just fed up. Shit weather, shit politics, shit food, shit people. It's just shit. Fucking let's just go. Let's just leave.
I'm gonna say that again. If you're an immigrant and you hate where you're currently living, pack your bags and leave. This is the nicest way possible, because some of you are very, very sensitive nowadays, even though people use straight up facts. And if you come at me saying that I am racist, I've been an immigrant myself for 17 years, and what color am I? I'm white. So the fact that you think that immigrants are straight away black people and mixed race people tells me more about you than anything else. So again, if you're not happy where you currently are, get the next flight out of that country to a different country that you think best aligns to your interest. And if you can't find none, then I guess you can just go back to your own country. Respectfully said, because that's exactly what I done. The moment that I realized the UK wasn't for me anymore, I packed my bags and I came back to Portugal. So I'm talking from experience. God bless.
Then tell us why it's not. Tell us why it's not. Because that's what all the reports are saying. That's why I'm making a documentary to prove that it's not.
Go and look up all the good stuff. There's plenty of good stuff.
Okay, no, but I'm asking you as someone that lives here, what's a city voted every other year by the residents as the worst in the country. This is due to its high population density and lack of housing, known for its local crime and antisocial behaviour. And welcome to Luton.
You know, if you went into a local town or city in the UK, everybody's got everything. They've got amazing phones, they've got money, they've got cars, and they're just miserable.
One of my mates, he was like, oh, there's nothing on TV. I was like, you've got Sky, you've got Paramount, you've got Disney, you've got Netflix, you've got all these things, and you're moaning. And he's gone to me, we're out doing a job together, and I've turned round, dropped the chainsaw, and there's a parasol mushroom that's about the size of a steering wheel. Like, absolutely huge. And I'm like, just run over to it, just drop. And he's like, you're really weird. And I was like, why? He goes like, you're so excited about a mushroom. And I was like, no, you're really weird.
Because you're not.
You've got children, you've got all these things, and you're still not happy.
Yeah.
And I'm like a 5-year-old with an ice cream over a big mushroom. I'm like, look, it's the size of my head. And it's just like that giggly excitement. And that's what I do fall out of it sometimes, but that way as a child, it was just constant wonder. Yeah. And there's a point somewhere along in we're meant to grow up that I think we break that cycle.
Like literally, I was out like a second ago walking, and I didn't have like my shirt obviously like fucking hot and shit. And like people just like giving you the mean mug, like just proper staring you down, like judging you. Like what the fuck? I guaranteed if I was fat and out of shape, nobody would give a shit. But because I'm in decent shape, you wanna fucking look and start judging me. Like what is wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you well? Like if you're not happy with your life, that's okay. Go fucking sort it out. Like what the hell?
The past 3 days we've had lovely days. The sun's been out, I've been happy, we've been out all day long. Now I'm looking out the bloody window at rain again and I'm depressed again. I just absolutely hate it. Just get me on a plane and I'm never coming back.
Taxes are at a post-war record high. Up to 45% income tax on what you earn. Then 20% VAT tax on what you spend. If you're a business, you have VAT, then 25% corporation tax, then business rates, then 15% national insurance. Then you've got council tax, road tax, car tax, stamp duty tax. There are 39 different taxes that you pay. The town centres are in ruin. They're run down. There's empty high streets and increasing homelessness. You get stabbed for a watch in London, and petty crime is now legal in the UK. The cost of living is soaring, and inflation has wiped out 35% of your money in the last 5 years alone. You work 3 days out of 5 for the government, and you pay £4,000 a year in government debt interest. Then when you finally pay off your house and you retire, you're looking at 40% inheritance tax. And this is just the beginning. The UK want to tax you even more, and they want a digital ID, and they want more control. There will be no cash soon whatsoever. You'll get imprisoned for your social media posts. You own less and less and less. You give away more and more and more. And people wonder why everyone's either leaving the UK or taking the streets to protest.
A global mental health study, the Global Mind Project, ranked Britain 70th out of 71 countries in the terms of mental well-being. That's second from the bottom. That score is so low. The UK's average mental health score was 49, far below the global average of 65. So what's driving this misery? Researchers point to the cost of living crisis, failing trust in politicians, and lingering effects of the pandemic. But the biggest concerns are with young people. Early smartphone use, ultra-processed diets, and weakening social bonds are fueling a generation that feels worse than ever. And it doesn't stop there. A second study from the Global Flourishing Project placed the UK 20th out of 22 countries for overall well-being measures. Health and relationships and financial security, once again, younger adults in Britain reported the lowest levels of satisfaction. Now here's the twist. In the World Happiness Report, the UK sits around 20th globally. Not great, but far better from second worst. So why do mental health and well-being ranking make us look so bleak? Are we really living in one of the world's most miserable nations? Or are these studies holding up a mirror to the problems we'd rather not face? What do you think? Is Britain broken? Can we make Britain great again? Tell me in the comments.
Everyone dresses the same, complains about everything. We moan when it's raining, we moan when it's sunny. We're a country that thrives on misery. Miserable should be our middle name. It's a joke. And the moment someone does something different, dresses different, thinks different, lives different, everyone looks at them like they're weird. Why? Because being different reminds miserable people that they're choosing to stay stuck. We pay tax, we complain, and we repeat. Go and do something different. Stop caring about what other people think about you, because their opinions don't affect your life, your money, or where you're going. One life, one chance. Don't waste it on trying to fit in a country that's scared to even stand out. We're just fucking miserable. Stop caring about what other people think about you.
Is it just me, or do people in London feel very stressed and drained? Saying this because my British partner from London moved from the UK to Austria, and before he moved we spent quite some time in London. And one thing that I noticed and like really shocked me was how tired and drained people are. Like all they do during the week is they go to work, come home, have their dinner, watch TV, go to sleep, and then do that again and again. And on the weekends, all they want to do is recover basically from their week of work. They have no energy left. All they want to do is stay at home, watch TV, and just relax really, which I can understand because they had a tough week. But here in Austria, I feel like even though people work full time here, I don't know why, but I feel like people have so much more time on their hands. I just feel like in Austria, there's a better work-life balance. People have more time, more energy, more time to do things, to go out, to meet up with their friends. And like every time I'm in the UK and I see how people live day in, day out, it's just absolutely shocking to me, honestly.
Britain doesn't just need a change of government. Britain needs a change in how the country's governed. The reason why Britain is in a sorry mess, it's not because people with blue rosettes or red rosettes have been running things. It's because basically for 28 years, almost 28 years ago to the day, Tony Blair was elected. And since then, we've had a succession of Blairite governments. Now, Tony Blair may have only been Prime Minister for the first 10 of those 28 years, but every administration since Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron, Theresa May, heaven help us, Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak, they all believed in the same essentially three Blairite assumptions. Number one, they believed in the infallibility of the expert, that you can have the Bank of England set interest rates or the Sage Committee put us under house arrest and it will lead to good public policy. The second assumption they've all had is that you can tax and regulate the economy, but provided you slosh enough monetary stimulus at the economy, you will get growth. That is a disaster. It leaves us with the insane idea that we in a period of supposed economic growth, not that there's much of it, we're running a 5% government deficit. And the third Blairite fallacy is that human nature is interchangeable. This is a sort of radical leftist position that the Blairites have imposed on us. The Blairites, who believe that human nature is interchangeable, believe that a man can become a woman in the most extreme version, or that an Eritrean can become an Englishman. And they make the mistake of therefore thinking that you can allow anyone to come into the country. You don't really need to do anything to integrate the country beyond a few pieties about toleration and, yada, yada, yada. And it's a disaster.
Have any of you lot come back to the UK after a long holiday and just thought to yourselves, why am I back here? Why am I back in this absolutely miserable place? Because I'm going to be real with you, I went on a long holiday and as soon as I stepped foot back in the UK airport, I automatically just started feeling miserable and depressed. Because let's be honest, yeah, the weather is really shit. The cost of living is ridiculous. And in all honesty, most people are not very nice. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the minute I stepped off this plane, the first thing I heard is someone telling someone else to fuck off. Have any of you seen Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street when he says, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. But I'm going to be dead real with you. I will be fucking leaving. I will be leaving. This UK show does not go on. You know, when I was abroad, yeah, I was doing things I don't usually do. I was getting my haircut every 3 to 4 days. Because they say when you look good, you feel good, and you're just overall happy, it plays a part and your true personality will come out. I was getting my haircut every 3 to 4 days. But since being back here, look at the fucking state of me. Look at the state of me, huh? I haven't had my haircut in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And look at me. My hair's grey. My beard's long. My hair's fucked. Because I'm miserable. Miserable. So the moral of the story is, guys, yeah? Book your flights. Go on holiday. And don't come back. Safe.
Children living in poverty in the UK is absolutely disgusting. The figures that are showing is incredible. So at the minute, across the whole of the UK, the stats are showing 4 million children are living in poverty. Now that's nearly 10% of the whole population of the UK. What's the population? 56 million? So, okay, maybe about 8%. But even still, there shouldn't be nobody, especially children, living in poverty in any part of the country, in any part of the world, should I say. I think it's disgusting. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of families, like I've said on previous videos, they both work full-time jobs and they can't afford still to cover the bills and live as well. Like, the bills in the UK are an absolute disgrace, the way they keep rising, the energy cost. The government step in and help the people. It's like, how can you go sleep at night knowing that because of you, the government, there is children that are starving, there's families that can't survive, but yet there's millions of people out there that get loaded up with benefits. Nothing against you people on benefits, each to their own. But what I'm saying is, there's people out there living in poverty. There's people that work that are worse off than people on benefits. Now work that out. That already tells you how broken Britain is. Something needs to be done regarding this issue massively. Like, it's frightening. It's very frightening. And things are getting worse. So this poverty business is just going to get worse. People like, share, comment, have your own view, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Jump on. But I just think it's absolutely disgusting the way this country is literally just leaving children there to starve and families to struggle.
And because it's not just the place. I mean, I've got to admit, where I'm in Northampton, I go to the park pretty much 2 or 3 times a day, but seeing homeless people at the shops, and then the majority of shops are just kebab houses and KFC type places, just peri-peri chickens and things like that. The sense of community is sort of been eroded away out. And I think a lot of the problems have sort of magnified since the 50s. And I wasn't born in the 50s, but I can see the erosion. I mean, you say the name Margaret Thatcher, people know getting the breakup of the coal mines, etc. And then obviously you got the fragmentation of things like the steel industry, the car industry. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of these had big socialist strongholds, so I fully understand why it was split up. Now, am I against it or agree with it? I say I fully understand it. It doesn't mean I agree or disagree, because it was before my time. But I do understand the fact that we're pretty much the other way now, where it's a dictatorship in many places. You know, even the employment law is geared towards the businesses that more and more. So there's less and less employment protection, there's less and less incentive for workers to even stay at a company, because even discussing stuff these days may get you fired. It's easier to actually think, I'll find another job, and then jump ship. And then companies are sitting there going, I don't know why people keep leaving, I don't know what's going on. It's like, there's a hole in the A. That's what I would say. There's a lot of these people that are in those roles now, they're the ones running the companies, and that goes back to the way the education system went, probably during the 60s, as it started to move academics and trying to water the system down, or whatever they did to it. It's ended up where you get people with false degrees, as far as I'm concerned, because they're not difficult to do. I'm doing a master's degree at the minute. I don't find it difficult. I find it boring. I find it frustrating, because the wording's overcomplicated for what is required. It's just like some twat sat in an office somewhere thinking it's good to play with a thesaurus that thinks it makes him sound more important when writing this stuff, and all it does is you just think the guy's a twat. Those sort of things are going on, where you've got people that will come out with a degree in media studies or something else and move into roles that actually involve somebody needing to know what they're doing. Because one of the big things I see a lot in business is people with a lack of empathy, lack of understanding of people, lack of understanding of what they're supposed to be doing, a lack of just general etiquette. Now, they all sound fairly straightforward, but they have a big impact. People have become fixated on themselves. I'm not that type of mindset. My mindset is, when I'm working with my own teams, is my team. What's the issues my team are facing? Because if they're working right, my job's easier. So the important bit is not me dictating, it's actually understand what their problems are. Because if they turn around and says, well, the software keeps crashing, or, you know, where I need Friday mornings off because I've got to take my son to whatever, you go, right, let's work it out. How are we going to make this work? Okay, you want to be out, you can't come in till 10 on a Friday, fine, you just stay a little bit later, either that night or work half an hour later across the other 4 days. It's not difficult. But I find some people are just impossible to work with. You know, it's like company policy states that you must be working between 9 and 5. It's like, yes, but somebody's already just stated they have got something that they need to do on a Friday. It's not a case of they want to do it. It's not as if they're thinking, oh, I can't be bothered to start till maybe 10 o'clock every day and maybe I'll work a bit later. They're actually saying they've got something to do that can't be changed. But you do find some people are impossible to work with. So I can understand there seems to be a lot more people unhappy in work, and I do think some of this is the way that the management's changed over recent years. I'm finding a lot of uneducated, unskilled people in management roles more and more. At the same time, I'm finding engineers, etc., want to work them less and less. So they start moving off and they start moving into specific industries that may see less management. You know, for example, where you're working more in a van than on a site, because if you're in a van, people see you less. You may come into the office on a Friday, people may phone you and email you, etc. But you're predominantly nowhere near anybody and you try and avoid people like the plague. You also see the fact that skills are changing in the UK. People are becoming more interested in the office jobs, the younger generations, than things like engineering. As such, you've got an engineering skill set that is still sort of seen as beneath an academic. Yeah, I look at a lot of the academics these days and think you're a moron, because they're not, A, they're not true academics, but B, if you can't have some basic dignity and respect for others, I don't want you sitting at my table. It's as simple as that. But the other thing is, nobody's encouraging people into engineering. It's not, you know, if you ask my kids, I'd tell them now, do not go into engineering. Not unless you're running your own company, at which point I'd have to fund it, a Kickstarter, because I wouldn't want them working under anybody else short term either, unless I actually knew them. Because there's a lot of bad people out there. I don't want my kids demotivated at day one due to the way some of these idiots are. So from a business perspective, I can see things are adrift big time, and it's top down. You look at the way Boris managed things and the current Prime Minister managed things, and the clowns that are in amongst those lot. You know, your what's her name, Theresa May, what a joke she was. And then that other woman, I can't remember her name, the 1 week wonder. When I first seen her, I just thought, idiot. She hadn't even spoken yet. I just looked at her and she stood there with her hands like, I just thought, it looks like a Harry Enfield sketch. But I'm angry about it, disappointed, because the problem is, I look around and go, what did we replace them with? Same. Career politicians, they're a problem. And let's face it, anybody that would want to make a positive change probably wouldn't want to work in politics. It's a sad state to be in. So I can understand people demotivated by the government. I can understand the cost of living's gone up. I can understand that work's becoming harder. People are working harder for less. Come out of COVID, where you've been at home for 2 years, and you may feel going back at work a bit like when I see people in the Philippines with virtually nothing, happier than a lot of people I know. When you start going back into the office or wherever you working after COVID, you see it more. And that's what I had when I went back to the UK, because out in the Philippines, went through typhoons, earthquakes, nearly died of dengue. We had a few deaths as well over the recent years. Perspective becomes important, and a lot of stuff people are complaining about these days is small if you're outside it, because you've got a perspective that shows that it's small. But when you're in it, it's worse. When you're going back to the job after being off with the COVID period, and you start to see how you're manipulated, you don't want to work after 5 o'clock anymore, and you start to go down the route of maybe I can work part-time, I like being at home. The landscape's changed. The same as you may not want to be in the office anymore, and now you're seeing them trying to force people back in the office. And these are just things on the surface. Then you got the people that didn't get their holidays during the COVID and maybe still struggling to get their holidays now. There is still a lot of problems out there, and I think this is the thing, there's a lot of uncertainty. I think there's nothing mentoring and driving things forward in a positive way. People need direction, and it's not because they need controlling, it's to give a positive light. Much stuff we see isn't positive, let's face it. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so yeah, the quality of life in the UK is absolutely ridiculous. At the moment, there's about 47% of people in the Gen Z kind of era that are like, we are moving out of the UK in the future. We are not going to be living here. This is not sustainable for our children and our family. And a lot of people are thinking the same. What kind of country would you go through? I mean, 1 out of 3 British Muslims have already moved out and already thinking and considering moving out to the UK. Is it something that you're considering to do? And if so, what country are you thinking of going to? Here is a list of the safest countries for people to move to with families. One of them is Switzerland, Norway, the UAE, of course, I bang on about that. You've also got places like Portugal, which is a lot more affordable, and Malaysia, which is a lot more affordable. So if it is something where, okay, Switzerland, Norway, too expensive, really high taxes, UAE, too expensive to live, Portugal is affordable. Portugal is not that bad. Malaysia is affordable. It's not that bad. It's a bit further out and you've got less access to sort of Europe and stuff like that, but it is affordable and you can make that move. Is it something that I would say 1000% go for? No, I would say go to the country for a trip. Do a 2-3 week stint, go and have a look at it, see if you like it. A lot of people do that with the UAE. They will come here on holiday and they will say, can we sustain a life here? Can we live here? Is this day-to-day life? And then they will make that move. We did that in September of 2021 and we decided to move. It is something that you should definitely do. Don't just make that jump, because a lot of people have made that jump to the UAE, regretted it, and then moved back, spent all this money, and now they're stuck in the UK and they don't know where to go because they spent so much money in the UAE when they moved. So make the decision carefully, and if you are making the decision, what country are you going to? Share it in the comments below and the reasons why as well. The UK is just not it anymore.
Guys, let me tell you, here in Europe, we are not living. We are merely existing. In Europe here, we are all managing life. Let me tell you why. Because 95 to 98% of Africans living abroad depends on monthly salary. Yes, they wait for their salary to come at the end of the month before they start sorting out their financial problems. And after sorting out their financial problems, they have no money left. That is what is happening to me. If I tell you for years now, it is getting to a decade, I have not been able to travel anywhere because I have no money. Man, I like keeping it real. I like keeping it real. I am stuck here. Do you understand me? I am stuck here. I do not know the way out. even to gather money together is a problem. To get money in block is a problem. How are you going to, how can you do it? It's not possible to get block money, say thousands, the same time. You get your salary at the end of the month. After 2 weeks, it is finished. Not up to 2 weeks, it is gone. Now tell me how you can save money to go on vacation or build a house or do other things with it when you live in this kind of condition or society. Even I used to think
There's a lot less smiling than I remember. A lot more people looking exhausted, stressed, fed up. And you have to wonder, what on earth happened? It's not just one group of people. Whether you've lived in Britain all your life or you've made Britain your home, plenty of people seem to be feeling the pressure, the cost of living, housing, long working hours, traffic, queues, bills, constant bad news. By the end of the week, it's enough to test anyone's patience. It's difficult to whistle a happy tune when your electricity bill is trying to whistle your savings away. Back in my younger days, life wasn't perfect. Far from it. We had our problems, but life often felt slower. Neighbours knew each other. The local pub was busy. Children played outside until tea time. People chatted more. Today, everyone seems to be rushing somewhere while staring at a screen, and somehow we're more connected than ever. Yet many people feel more isolated. Then there's the pace of modern life. The phone never stops. The emails never stop. The headlines never stop. Bad news arrives before you've finished your breakfast. No wonder people feel mentally worn down. The world's become rather noisy, and peace and quiet have become luxury items. And then there's the money. Many households feel they're working harder than ever just to stand still. Food costs more, rent costs more, energy costs more. The little treats that made life enjoyable become things you start talking yourself out of. That takes its toll over time. Mind you, Brits have always been world champions at having a good moan. It's practically our national hobby. But there used to be laughter mixed in with the grumbling. Sometimes I think we've forgotten that part. Perhaps the answer isn't that Britain has suddenly become miserable. Perhaps it's that years of rising costs, constant pressure, uncertainty, and the relentless pace of modern life have left a lot of people feeling worn down. The good news? Communities can recover. Neighborliness can return. People can rediscover the value of talking to each other instead of just scrolling past each other. Because Britain has been through difficult times before. And one thing I've learnt in my 90-odd years is that bad times don't last forever, but decent people often do. Cheerio. And don't forget to smile at someone today. It's still one thing that hasn't gone up in price.